Hi.
Okay,
Oh,
no.
hi. Hi. That's where his mind went. DJs. Am I
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Just kidding. What's up, y'all?
What's up? Oh, we're back to the boys versus girls.
Yep.
Pew, pew, pew.
Boys win.
Yep. That was a good episode. Bye.
Oh,
Girls
hell
rule.
no.
Am I in?
Boys drool.
Are you in?
Am I in? Because I
Yeah.
can't see us.
That's what I ask girls all the time. Am I in?
All right. So wait, we got to do our intro.
1, 2, 3.
Hi.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of
Be Uplifted.
Pew pew pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Well, that was a good one. I like that.
Yep. So what are we talking about today?
Did we pick an official, like...
Okay. We're talking.
do
we're talking
men
about some of the
date?
things that I watch, and there's this movement that's called Magatu.
Magatu?
Yeah, well, it's MGTOW, which stands for Men Going Their Own Way. And one of the clips that I brought up was
It's like an actual hashtag, you guys. Look it up.
yeah, it's what was it? It was dating up, right? And the question was in society, there's a lot of I guess for the most part, girls tend to date up, meaning they typically want the 666, the 6 foot tall, 6-figure income, 6-pack abs. So they want somebody that's physically stronger than them, makes more money, and is just taller, I guess. But with that question, they were saying, so does that mean that girls date down or guys date down? And that kind of triggered the girls. So we're going to talk about that
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
just a little
My
bit.
initial response to that was I don't think that they're necessarily dating down if they find a girl that matches their level. So a
Yes.
fellow successful woman, a fellow fit woman, a fellow whatever that guy's height requirement is,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But I guess, not everybody thinks that way. But to me, it shouldn't be about the actual number, but more so like the energy. Are you matching the energy?
But girls want a guy that can protect them. So typically that means a stronger guy, a guy that can provide for them. So that typically means a guy that makes more money and a guy that's taller than them.
So wouldn't that also mean in the girl version, you want a girl that will nurture you, a girl that will make you feel like you're the shit, you're the man, you're strong, and a girl that will have
you kids.
have a big rack or whatever it is,
Well,
compared to your tallness.
Now that you bring this up, I've kind of pinpointed what I want from a girl now. And I just had this realization.
Just right now?
Yeah. I just want a girl that will make my life simple.
And maybe that's why the girls want those kind of guys, because it makes their life simple.
Yeah.
Well, minus the abs thing, that's not necessarily necessary, but
This whole hashtag movement,
Magatu.
like Magatu or whatever, like that society or like culture that we are in right now is 100% full bullshit. You know what it really is? It's black and white, me versus you.
Yeah.
Right? So the girls will say this because now they want to go, they kind of want to like win the war against men, and men would do this because now they feel like they have to win the war against women. And it's like, we can't just like each other. There always has to be a definition as to whether I'm dating up or I'm dating down.
I 100% agree with that. I'm like, dude, can it just be about like what my standards are, not what society's standards, but like if it's good enough for me, then it should be good enough for me, and vice versa, right?
But okay, so that in itself is another thing that was a triggering point in that whole movement is when a girl has standards, there's standards, but when a guy has standards, they're shaming. Like most girls prefer a guy that's going to be taller than them, even though we have no control over that. But I want a girl that's fit, which she can control. How much she goes to the gym or what she eats and
But then you're
her
fat
lifestyle.
shaming if you say
But then all of a
something,
sudden I'm fat shaming, and I don't think that that's fair. So the whole movement of the men going their own way is more of like a men's mental health type thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's That's kind of what intrigued me about it, because we have so many topics about, you know, the gender roles and stuff like that, and that's why I started following all that stuff. But then, yeah, I don't know what my point was.
Well, I think what I said kind of goes along with what you said. The whole like it's fat shaming. Well, that's because society tells you to date a skinny ass bitch, right? But if deep down inside, are you okay with her? Do you like her being that way? Does it really matter to you? If it doesn't, then you're not necessarily leveling down. You're just meeting your needs and your expectations. So.
True, but it's still viewed as me shaming somebody versus you having standards.
Yeah, I was
and
agreeing
that's not,
with you.
Yeah, that's
So
not
I was
fair,
adding an
yeah.
extra point because I was agreeing with you.
But I think a lot from a guy's point of view, I do kind of understand the like how they're, I would say, I guess, frustrated because they can't live up to a lot of those standards.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I see that.
Right,
It's
they
sad.
can't live up to. I can't live up to being 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
I mean, if your standards were 4'4" instead of 6'6", yeah, we could work it out.
Yeah.
But I think it's to the point where women are so freely to just give out their standards, especially like you know, we've talked about it in dating apps. You know, you have to be, you know, they'll actually give you a laundry list of what they want.
Right.
But the minute guys do it, now they're kind of like looked at upon as though you can't accept women for who they are because these are our bodies. I've had kids, blah, 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 blah.
Do you think that you men of this day and age are paying for the bullshit that men put women through back in the day?
Did we put them through?
That's what I'm saying. Do you think you're paying for it? Like, you know, like men like making more than women and all these things that women were like, you know, women were not even allowed to talk in court before because they weren't even looked at as high enough of a species to be able to. So, meaning the men was always put on a pedestal, which obviously is not you guys, but do you think that maybe that's why that's happening now?
It could be, but that's kind of a stretch, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is, but
people are kind of reaching when they go all the way back like that because women bodily standards, they've changed, but I don't like sometimes like for me when you look at like I guess guys our age, and before, you know, size 14 was considered sexy,
right?
Yeah,
right. Marilyn Monroe was a size 14.
Yep.
Right. What is size 14 now? A torrid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the ad for Torrid. 14 to 20 or whatever it is. Yeah. And so has society changed? Maybe, but do you blame men for that? Or do you blame art? Or do you blame fashion? Or do you blame, you know, designers wanting their models to be rail thin?
Yeah. I think I was more so talking about not necessarily the weight thing, but like women wanting and having this need to be as good as men, you know? Like, I think it stems from that trauma of men trying to say that they were better before. That's why women are like hungry to prove themselves. Like, oh, I can make as much as men and I can be as strong as men. Like, they feel this need to prove themselves because back in the day they had to, you know?
I honestly think that's just wrong way of thinking.
Yeah,
you know,
agree.
because like you shouldn't compare yourself to other people for one thing.
Right.
You know, there's this funny thing that they do on that channel that I was showing you, and they'll go around asking, you know, mostly like girls and guys, they say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate yourself? Most girls start at 10. And then a lot of them say, oh, I'm 100, I'm 1,000, I'm infinity, I'm 1,000,000.
What the
And I'm like, what the fuck? You're
conceited.
delusional. But you know, if you were to ask me, I realize that now it's kind of,
Don't say a 4.
well, it's based on it's based on the metric. So my the metric that I'm that I would rate myself at, I would be a 10, just because I think that I'm doing everything that I can possibly to improve myself. So as a progress, then I would say, or as a process or whatever, I'd be a 10. Now, as like a you know, the final thing, like if this is my final form, yeah, maybe I'm a 4 or 5, you know, but what I'm doing about it, that I think that I'm a 10. I really can't think of anything else that I could be doing to be improving my lifestyle, my financials, my, you know, my mental health and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're asking me in that way, yeah, I think that I'm a 10 or a 9.
Yeah, I think men just get wrongfully blamed for all of this.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think they just get wrongfully blamed for all of it. I mean, you just said, when they rate themselves, the men are kind of like, I'm like here, and then but the women are like, I'm like infinity. But I think it's because it's upbringing, right? Guys generally, and I'm just generalizing, obviously. Generally, we play sports.
Yeah.
We're always taught to be humble.
Yeah.
Right. We're not better than our competition and whatnot. Where women, they're kind of raised to be princesses. You're the princess.
Yeah.
You're over here. And then, when it comes to a lot of the stuff that we do, there were like pageants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're supposed to consider yourself far better than everybody else. You watch TV shows that's geared towards kids, girls. They're like the princess. I'm supposed to be the princess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, girls are born with value, and guys are born needing to earn that.
That's true.
I guess it also depends like where you grew up and who raised you, because
I was
not raised
Yeah.
to be like that at all. I was raised to work hard, tough love, and you work for what you get.
Yeah.
And no man's gonna provide that for you. You're gonna provide it for yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess going back to like the conversation we were talking about, how girls like, oh, well, I want him to have this and this and this and this. It's like, well, because we worked hard for that, and we want you to match the same energy as that.
And mine was like similar, but in I guess like a different way. Like I was forced to play the woman role, right? Like that's all I was allowed to do. I was to take care of my brothers. I was to clean the house. I was to, have food ready. It wasn't, so I guess it's like kind of double standard both ways, right? Like, so do you guys think that men shouldn't be accountable at all for some of the traumas that that women in society are kind of like taking it out on you?
I think everybody should be accountable.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody, right?
You can't necessarily blame a whole entire gender
Yeah.
for everything that's happened.
I was just saying you two. Do you guys think it's both, or you think it's just women, or do you think?
Well, I definitely
But you said
think
everyone, so I agree with that. Yeah.
But I would say that there is there's a unequal balance. Like I think that that generally like girls aren't as accountable for their for what goes on as much as men are, because we're brought up. Most men are brought up to understand that whatever happens is their fault. Does that make sense? Like we have to earn everything, and if we don't get it, that's because of the shit that we either did or did not do.
Yeah, like you have to take ownership of whatever actions that you did or did not do.
Yeah, and as a we're just generalizing, because I know that you guys both work very hard for the things that you've accomplished and have achieved, but typically girls get handouts.
Well, what about the stereotype? Because I hear a lot of complaints on the women's side or girl side, like women that I know that have grown up in households with brothers, right? And they're like, my parents were so strict on me, and my brothers got to do whatever the fuck they want. They got to come and go as they please. They didn't have to keep their grades up. As long as they weren't bringing hoes home, they were straight. Whereas me, it was like, dress modest, be a good girl, have good grades, don't be a hoe, because I hear the other side of that. Like, I think it's the other way around. I think guys have it easier because of XYZ. Like, not to say that I don't agree with you men, because I definitely feel like men do have it hard, but I also hear that other side of it, and I agree with that too.
I think in that aspect, I think guys do get it easier, only because we can run away from the repercussions, right? We can easily run away from our accountability, right? So, for instance, if you had a daughter and then you had a son, if your son got the girl pregnant, you're not dealing with that baby for 9 months, right? But if it was your daughter that got pregnant, now it's your problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if the guy disappears, you're saddled with that baby for the next 18 years.
Right.
So that's that fear, right? That now you have like another mouth to feed or a burden that you're going to bring in. Where the guy, it's almost like, they're
Like vanished.
Yeah, they could just vanish and not
But that
necessarily.
is pressure on the female, though.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's why the guys get it easier in that
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
Where the parents are just like, go, go, go. But also, you know, you look at the times, whether not necessarily these times, but back then, like serial killers didn't really like, you know, go after men. They went after women predominantly. So you kind of you protect your girls or your children a little differently than each other.
Yeah.
You still treat the girl as like the precious cargo, and then they have to kind of go that way.
Yeah.
And they have to be, you know, again, you know, we can go around it. It's like, you know, like you have to be demure, you have to be this and this, because who's gonna date you if you're not?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like teeter-tottering between both sides because, I mean, as some of you guys may know, and you guys know, like I was raised by a male, my dad. So he taught me, like I said, tough love. You work for what you get. No man's going to give you whatever. But then also I've had a side too where it's like no men should treat you like, you know, like a princess, or like open the doors for you and blah, 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 blah. So that's why when you guys open doors for me, I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird because I never really experienced this, or I really had that growing up. Right.
Yeah.
So since you guys both have daughters, how would you like how do you guys raise them? Like which side?
Well, I try to prepare my daughter to be ready for anything. So, you know, although I try to show her through example how she should be treated, I also, you know, prepare her for the downside if she doesn't get treated like that, you know?
Okay. What about you, Queer Rich? Oh, there's a point to this because I wanted to ask you too.
Well, you know, with me, generally, it's going to be pretty like cut and dry. Like I don't like skirt around the fact with my daughter. I just tell her, you know, like when it comes to boys, I tell her, they're going to tell you anything you want. Just like I told your mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, make it simple. Like make it so I'm not necessarily just saying it because, you know, like I'm a higher power, or I'm like perfectly clean.
You're just being matter of fact.
I'm just like, I myself would do anything to get that girl in bed. So I know that guy's going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So you would teach them both though, that get your own, but also this is the real world and this is how they're going to treat you.
Yeah, because at some point you have to have some sort of independence, right?
Yep.
In your life, you can't simply rely on the fact that you're probably going to get married and you know and
Be taken care
of,
Right.
right? But I think the whole thing with Vince, it's like a lot of what I see though nowadays is that, well, it's kind of weird because when we look at it from a social media point of view, it's very pinpoint, right?
Right.
It's not broad.
Right.
It's very specific.
It's like social media's got us all fucked up.
Yeah, it's to find a genre, close it in, and then talk about it.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, not every girl's like that, but I would say the girls that have problems with saying I want this, this, and this, they're not really willing to work on anything to get this, this, and this.
Yeah.
I see.
Right. You want the guy with a 6-figure income? Trust me, a lot of girls that get guys with 6-figure incomes have met them in high school. And they build up to that relationship.
Yeah, no, because most guys that make that much don't even trust new females.
Yeah.
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 So if you had to pick between raising your daughter as like princess or like the other side, what would you pick if you had to choose?
The other side. 100% other side.
What about you, Kuya?
I would probably go with the princess side.
Interesting.
So that would be her expectation. Is that why? Because you know how they say treat your daughter the way you would want a man to treat her. Is that why?
Yeah, but I'm saying the princess side, not more like pampered pet, but more like you have to have some sort of grace, some sort of like aura around you that it's not you're not necessarily like free to the world.
I see. Like hold your value up there.
Exactly. Like, you know, you just don't walk up to a princess and expect to date her.
Oh, no. I tell my daughter she ain't shit every day.
Okay, so what about you, Ari? Because you have daughters. What is your side on how you think of that?
I think I have an interesting dynamic because I have daughters and sons, right? So when you two speak about the male perspective, I think about my sons and I'm like, yeah, like fuck that. I wouldn't want a girl to be like treating them some type of way. These are two wonderful boys and they're going to grow up to be great men in my head, you know? And then I look at my girls and I'm like, yeah, but men aren't shit, you know? Like, you know, so I'm like, I see both dynamics. It's hard for me to choose if I had to pick the princess and the other side. As much as I want to pick the princess because they should hold value because of how ugly the world is, you know, I would probably, if I had to choose, I want to do both. And that's
Right.
how I do raise my daughters. I raise my daughters both to hold value, but also be kind of like street smart, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose one, I would be with Vince. I would definitely pick the other one because that's what's going to get them through all the bullshit, you know? So
Yeah. And
And
look,
same
look
with the
at
boys.
look at me, for example. I have 0% success rate in relationships. Now, if I were, to rely on a woman, like let's flip the gender roles. If I were to rely on a woman right now, I'd be shit out of luck because I have no girlfriend. And what if I were to be raised to have that princess mentality? I'd be screwed. So that's the only reason that I chose whatever the other side would be.
Right. Yeah.
No, I could have been looking at it at the wrong perspective. Like if you were to associate the princess mentality with having a higher standard, then yeah, I would have her learn more of that, but it would still be an 80-20, 20% princess, 80% logic.
yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to the topic, Lonnie, what about you? Like, in your opinion, do you feel that because women consider themselves leveling up, that it means the man is leveling down? Or do you think more like kind of what I said, where it's like more like matching energies, if anything?
Yeah, for sure, matching energies. Only because the type of person I am, I'm not gonna let my partner try and take care of everything because that's just wrong. And again, we're in a partnership, and just like Vince has said in a previous episode, is like, I'm gonna give you 100 as best as I can, and you're gonna give me 100 as best as I can. I don't expect you to be fucking, like deadlifting fucking 500 pounds, and I don't fucking expect you to have six abs or whatever the fuck and be 6 foot tall. Like, I really don't give a fuck as long as you give me your full on like 100 as much as you can that day, then that's what it is.
So what if, say the girl makes more than the guy, right? And the guy, like, say, works just like a minimum wage job. Woman is like a CEO, but she's genuinely happy. Like, this man treats her so fucking good, or vice versa. The woman treats it. Do you think that that's leveling down because, what we were talking about, people say leveling down is like lower income, lower abs, like whatever. Would that be leveling down if they're genuinely happy?
To be honest, I just think it's their business.
It is their business,
yeah.
but yeah, they are leveling down.
Oh, okay.
Because if we were to take a look at, and I don't want to sound like misogynistic or anything, but if we were to take society's, gender roles or whatever, like, man should be able to provide and protect. Now, if he can't provide financially, and like, let's say that, and now he would have to take that nurturing side. But then typically, like, girls like to be led.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now he's not a leader, so now he's the bitch in the relationship. No offense on anybody that found a sugar mama or anything like that, but at the same time, it's like, in most cases, you're supposed to be the provider and protector. If my girl can beat me up and she pays my bills, that, you kind of got to know your lane.
Yeah, but I mean,
don't get me wrong. If there's any sugar mamas out there, just, Ronda Rousey. Yeah.
I mean, I think we put too much importance on how much people make.
Yeah.
It definitely. Yeah.
Because it's like, look, let's say you're Oprah Winfrey. Who the hell are you gonna date that's above you
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I
at
asked
$1
that.
billion fucking dollars, right?
Because say she's dating like a producer, like we said, right? That nobody knows. She still makes
like
decent money.
Rihanna,
Yeah.
Grammy Award winner or whatever. Now she's dating a producer, multiple levels down.
Yeah.
But the
But
thing
is
is,
she?
people,
Yeah.
but is she actually like, like, do you have to have money to lead? You
Right.
don't.
Exactly.
Right?
Right. So I agree with that. That's why I was asking that, because there's different aspects of
Yeah.
leading
Yeah.
and providing, and like maybe you don't provide me monetarily, but you provide me with comfort and
Yes.
safety and
Yes.
Yeah, because
Love.
if you make more money than me, best believe I'm making the bed more than you. You know what I mean? I'm preparing dinner.
So
for
then,
you.
is it leveling down? I don't think it is if it's like that, right? If you're
Yeah, I
being
agree.
fulfilled in other ways.
No, I just think the whole leveling up, leveling down, it's a swinging dick contest,
Yeah. So
right? It's just to define who's gonna win that conversation today.
it's true. Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So the guy was like, "Oh, all those girls want to do," and it's a small segment of them. I can almost guarantee you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a small demographic of them that are saying, "I need 666."
Yeah.
So, if you guys want it that way, that means that that means that the guy there is actually leveling down. So it's almost like taking them and crushing their dreams.
Yeah.
It's like stepping on that to kind of like
To make you feel better about yourself.
not
almost.
necessarily to make you feel better about themselves. It's basically like to what do you call that when you it's just like to temper their ego,
Yeah.
to rein them in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
I just reposted this maybe like last week or something like this on my Instagram, but it said something within the lines of like, if you guys are both competing on who's gonna win the argument or whatever, technically you guys are both losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a compromise or it's a team effort of what you guys are trying to bring both to the table.
Yeah.
So this whole like one up bullshit, I think is just ridiculous.
I think it's stupid as hell too.
Yeah.
It's true. That is what it is. Like
Yeah.
essentially what Korea Rich was talking about. It really is just each other trying to one up each other, and it's like that's not going to work ever.
It's
you
gonna
know?
turn into a toxic relationship. So watch that episode.
Yeah.
Plus,
that part.
plus also, I'll be quite honest. It is you listen to this on the podcast.
What
Is it a podcast that you heard this on?
I guess it's a vlog.
Yeah. So it's a vlog. It's a podcast, right?
Yeah.
So as with anything, and I'm gonna go pass through the fourth wall here. A lot of times, these guys will actually take in like their stances that they don't necessarily believe in for the content.
Right.
Yeah. And it's also edited.
We don't do that. We really talk about what we believe.
Yeah, no, we just tell,
Yeah.
and that's why it's different here because we're actually gonna be like, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then we there's times when we're sitting here and then we're like taking the stance, and then somebody brings in, and we're like, no, actually, no, you're right. I think,
Yeah.
no, I'm kind of, but a lot of times just for the sake of the views, the hits,
Clickbait.
the
Yeah.
clicks, they're gonna set their sights well into that little circle and then stick by it. It happens in sports, it happens in entertainment, it happens in the news.
Yeah.
So if your woman was making more than you, how would you guys feel?
Happy.
It wouldn't matter.
Oh, I prefer it.
Okay, so what would you do to like, I want to say compensate, but help out?
Match
because-
that energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
She said make the bed more.
Be the budget
Yeah.
bay.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll be the budget
I would
babe.
love that. If
Yeah.
I was
I would
making
love
more, but
that.
you came up with all the ideas, I
Yes.
would love that.
Yeah, I would be I'd happily be a house husband.
Yeah.
I know a couple I know someone who makes all the money, but the wife, like helps do the finance part. Like, hey, so this amount of money is being allocated to here. This money is being allocated there. I think that's a like,
That's how it is in our household.
Right.
Like, Ackright obviously makes more because he just does. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that does all the budgeting and the financing.
Yeah.
That's
so
a good team.
That was the
Yeah.
thing that I was saying. I think in the previous podcast was like I've narrowed it down to what I'm looking for, and it's pretty and peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like as long as you can provide me with peace and you look good while you're doing it, that's cool. That's all that I care about.
Oh my gosh, Vince, is it all about looks with you? Jeez.
No, in peace.
Yeah, but also
piece
like,
is pretty.
But also
I know,
like
right?
if you look at the environment that you're in, like let's say like it's us and then like the same type of people. Like let's say the people that were at Wild and Out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and then you're getting with people and then you finally you kind of like, oh, I'm kind of attracted to this guy or this girl, and then you guys get together. You guys don't talk finances then,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think at some point, just for talking points, we talk about finances for no reason whatsoever.
It's usually, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
That's usually the opening statement for financial talk.
Yeah, but you don't like. Okay, if I told you what I did for a living, you don't think I would earn that much.
Right. So it's
Because-
assumption.
Or we'll
at
think that you
point.
earn a whole lot.
Or you
Yeah.
would think that I would earn a whole lot. But,
Yeah.
but
If you
when I-
said that you're only a YouTuber, I'd be like, God damn, that's cool.
And you have what kind of car?
Right?
yeah. No, but I'm like when we sit there and we're like, how would you feel if if the person you're dating was earning more money than you? I go, do I have a choice at that point? Like
That's
really,
true.
do
Yeah,
you
you
have a
don't.
choice? Once you got there and then you had the feelings for her and then everything's going good, why are you so worried about how much money she makes?
Yeah.
It's true.
I think
It's
I
so
think
true.
people start to worry about it more when they're like, okay, is there a future with this person?
No,
like, can I raise a family with this
I
person?
get that, but I think I don't know if I ever mentioned it in a podcast, is that people don't have money issues. No, people don't have money issues because they have relationship issues. They have money issues because they have their. No, I'm sorry. People don't have relationship issues because of money issues. They have money issues because they have relationship issues.
Okay.
Right. So it's like almost like you.
Yeah.
Act Right makes more money, but you handle everything, the budgeting. So it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your relationship is strong enough that it can actually
Handle that.
handle that. But if you don't, what do you blame? Oh, the money.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's, well,
That-
yeah,
that's
they
the
say that
easiest
that's
thing
the
to blame.
number one cause of divorce.
Yeah,
is
because it's
money.
so easy to point to.
Yeah.
Don't tell me your whole marriage fell apart because he's earning $30 an hour less.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It's deeper than the money at the
Yeah.
end of the day. You're right. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah. When you guys are talking about money thing, it's crazy because me and Jason have been together for a year, and it wasn't in just till recently that we actually like sit down and wrote down everything, like debts and everything, and we're like, okay, let's make it a point where we get this done by this point, and by this amount of years, we're gonna make sure we have this or that or whatever.
Shit, that's
Yeah.
planned.
So like,
I'm worried about
Me and
tomorrow.
Arkwright are like, can we make it till tomorrow? Once. No, just kidding. But,
I already have my feet pics ready to be uploaded.
dude, I'm ready to because I need extra money.
Right.
But so it's like you said, it doesn't. In the beginning, it's not all about. At least for me, and maybe for you
Same,
too,
yeah.
or you guys too. Is like, it doesn't matter as far as long as you're making something of yourself. I can care fucking less. You know.
It's sad though because there really are the women that are gold diggers
Yeah.
and men too for looking for a sugar mama that ruin it for the rest of the people. You
Yeah.
know, people are scarred about that kind of stuff.
Actually, Tinder swindler, I give you props.
Tinder swindler.
I didn't watch that yet. Was it good?
I thought it was. I thought it was very entertaining. I think that it was fucked up what he did.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
I was like, finally.
Dude, I was fucking in shock. I'm like, who thinks of this master plan?
Oh,
Sociopath.
girls.
Insane.
My ex. I'm just kidding.
Girls.
Yeah, girls do that.
Girls do that. Guys just adapted it. And
Yeah.
they adapted it so they made a movie out of it.
Yeah, because
Oh, wait a
it
second.
never. It rarely happens with guys.
Damn, I guess I haven't been that like aware of that part of the world. So.
No, but I mean, like, there's a term called gold diggers,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And
true.
which is associated mainly with women.
Women.
You know, like how many times do you think of a guy when somebody says gold digger?
That's true.
Every time now after my ex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's true. Women, you fucking women, do better. No, just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things, and the internet definitely makes it intriguing, but
Also harder.
yeah, but as with everything, you can't look at everything in black and white. Not everybody not every girl that I meet actually listens to everything that I've seen on the internet either.
Right.
yeah.
Hopefully, they're listening to this podcast though.
You get extra points if
Yeah.
you listen to the podcast.
And if you're subscribed and you rated, just kidding.
Give us a thumbs up if you want to go on a
date, budget bay style.
budget based.
It's so crazy to see how like women think that they got it or they made it because they can get purses or they live this certain lifestyle or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, how do you guys react? Like, how do you guys react to that when you see that?
No, I've put girls in their place when I give them something and I was like, oh, I wanted Prada. Well, bitch, be proud of the one that I bought you.
Yeah.
I've never like been a brand name girl. Like the
Same.
only time
Yeah.
I had brand name shit is because my mom, who's bougie, will be like, Anak, I got you Louis, like or whatever. Like
Yeah.
she fucking bought me like a fucking expensive ass something, and I'm just like, I almost feel ashamed to wear it because like one time you called me out on like a pair of shoes that she got me, and I was like, yeah, a little drip, but in my head I was like, don't notice them, like don't notice them because people are gonna think I'm trying to flex. So
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh god, like I don't want to
No.
buy brand name shit.
I feel that. I so feel that because like, not trying to flex or anything, but Jason bought me a freaking wallet and a purse for our anniversary, and I'm like, I feel so fucking weird.
Yeah.
But then when we went into the store to go get it, he's like, oh yeah, 70% off, and he's like, damn babe, you're cheap. 'Cause
You're like,
everything was
oh,
on sale.
okay,
And I'm like,
yeah. So
Damn.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah,
That's cool.
You know, I don't know. I'm not into, you know, what do you call that? Name brand stuff either. I mean,
bougie.
Yeah,
name
it's
brand
weird.
thing.
It's like, oh yeah, let me buy you a Prada backpack so you can drive around in your '91 Civic.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was another thing. Like the girl that I was dating at the time, she wanted a wallet and a clutch combo, and it came out to like $2,000.
Yeah,
where,
that
Louis?
shit's
And I'm like, do
expensive.
you even have $2,000 to put in there?
Right, it's a quarter.
Yeah, I was like, why the fuck do you want that shit?
You don't have a credit card.
That's why sometimes I feel weird like rocking the shit that. But then my mom's like, "How come you don't wear it? It's so expensive." I'm like, "Fuck, okay, now I have to wear it."
Like, don't get me wrong, I have expensive taste, but the expensive taste that I have is justified. That's why we can shoot in such low light, because I buy expensive cameras and I buy expensive lighting.
No, that's because
But-
it's a Sony.
Yeah, and that's exactly. But like, how often do you see me wear a shirt with a logo?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What do you guys think about the clip that I played for you guys, where they say that men often look for women that are already established so that you can just piggyback on the ride?
See, I've never been able to associate with that. Like when you said that, it was such a foreign thing to me. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? No, I'm happy with whatever I get, you know, as long as they don't have any red flags and stuff like that.
Again, it was a female that was mentioning it.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of like,
History.
not. I guess what I was saying earlier, I was like a history, but like a lot of it's also like, probably just leave people alone. You don't have to label their relationship,
Right.
right? Just because you have, you know, okay. So basically, she was on a podcast, so she's an influencer. She's probably down. You know, she's probably She probably is. Her circle is involves those kind of people,
Right.
Yeah.
So people with money. So just because your one friend that's actually working a 9 to 5 got with your other friend that could be a producer, somebody, an A&R talent, like at a music, just because they got together does not necessarily mean he's trying to latch onto her gravy
Yeah,
train.
I agree.
But because you can't understand how she at this level will date somebody you believe is beneath her, you're gonna label it as that.
As he's piggybacking.
Well,
Yeah.
what I would say though, I don't know if I was looking at it the wrong way before. This perspective kind of just came to me. I would say that I wouldn't date a girl unless she was at the, you know, I don't want to say standards, but for lack of better words, if she wasn't at the standards that I want. Now, not saying that I want a girl that is, you know, like she makes hella money, she's got her shit together, blah, blah. Yo, as long as you're not insane, you know, as long as you're not crazy, that's cool. But what I do think that that they may have been talking about is, I'm not going to date a girl who looks a certain way with the potential that she might look a different way. You know, like, oh, maybe if after I start dating her, I can introduce her to my makeup artist friends that do like help out with my photo shoots. Maybe she'll get like breast implants afterwards, you know.
Oh, like try to change her.
Yeah.
Like build a bear.
Yeah, exactly. This ain't build a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm sitting there. So I do agree with that. The girl has to be at my standards already.
Yeah.
But it's not one of those things where it's like my standards are like, oh, she has to have at least 2 Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
She has to have her own property. She has to have, you know, whatever. I would have to say that she has to look a certain way and be happy with that. So if that's what they were talking about, then yeah, I'm cool with that.
I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating because you can't even just date anybody without somebody
Having an opinion. Yeah, for sure.
scrutinizing it. Like, Jesus Christ, like leave us alone.
Right.
Like, first of all, it's her money if she wants to spend it on me.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't your problem.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
why do you guys make such a big deal about other people?
Right.
No, I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
Yo, you're single ass sitting at home
Right.
wondering why somebody else dating somebody else.
That's true.
That reminds me of this one where like that reminds me of this one. I think it was like an Instagram Reels or a TikTok or something, or like LeBron James missed a free throw or something,
Right.
and then it cuts to this fat guy on the couch eating potato chips. He's all stupid. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
When I heard that clip, I kind of connected with it only because of a situation I was with my past relationship where I wasn't saying I was making decent money, but I made a good amount of money where I supported the both of us. And
Okay.
all he did was fucking go fishing and shit. Okay. So, like,
We're back to the fishing.
Yeah.
That's 3 episodes in a row, guys. We haven't mentioned penises yet, but we've mentioned fishing.
Let's bring it back to that. Dick, vagina, dick, vagina, dick, vagina.
So I'm actually glad that you said that, because I was going to say that too, that it did resonate with me a little bit, because I think just this woman that's talking in that clip is probably similar to me and Lonnie, where she has a little bit of trauma, right?
Yeah.
Because when I heard that, I did have to like take a step back and be like, no, not all men are like that, because
Right.
I immediately thought of my fucked up ex that like, I remember he used to, like, one of the first questions in hindsight, like, that's a fucking weird question. But at the time, I thought we were just talking about our shit, you know? He, like, legit asked me, like, what my credit score was, you know? Like, do you have good credit? What do you want, you know, like, what is your job? And da-da-da-da, whatever. And then he would make jokes about, like, oh, yeah, a girl has to have a certain type of credit. And then later found out it's because that was literally what he did for a living. He would go from girl to girl, mooch, 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 you know? And so, like, that's when I was like, yeah, these stupid motherfuckers really do piggyback off of, like, you know, successful women. Because at that time, I was also like at the top of my game in my company, you know? So,
Same.
yeah, I feel that. But then, to be fair, not all guys are like that. That's like a special
Right.
case.
Right.
Yeah, not. But we're also
Yeah.
talking in general.
Right.
Generalizations. So
Yeah, I disagree with it, generally speaking.
yeah.
And looks can be deceiving. Like, there's a lot of times when people think like, oh, that guy's just mooching off of her, but you don't know what value he's actually, you know.
In our cases, they weren't. So,
It's just giving me some mental health issues.
yeah, exactly.
So when you watch a fishing channel, the dude's on there going, damn, you know what? He was actually working on his craft this whole time.
Well, no, what the crazy thing was though is that he was buying some like high end fucking fishing shit
With your money.
with his money, but like, and then he would mooch off and get shit from my dad, and my dad would buy him shit, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck, you know?
That's weird.
And that shit was like pissing me off, because I'm like, dude, like I said, I sacrificed so much. I worked graveyard. I fucking like barely slept, because then I would have to go do gigs the next fucking morning or whatever, and those gigs I did back to back. So I was like fucking hustling so fucking hard, and then you can't even make me a fucking meal. Like,
Yeah.
that's where
Well,
I'm
he was
like,
trying to
bruh.
catch it first. Like, what do you want from him?
Yeah.
I want him to be at home cooking me dinner and not fucking spending $60 on a fucking boat ride to go get me some fish.
Dinner was in the ocean.
Yeah.
Dinner was down the street at Food for Less.
You know, this is ironic that we're talking about this, because I actually had, this is just to talk story, a conversation with one of the girls at Pacers recently, and she was telling me her experience, because she's like, yeah, I'm in a really toxic relationship. I've been with my man for blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, you know, finances, like, I have to pay for everything, you know? And she's like, he pays a little bit of rent, but I buy everything in the house and da 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 da. And I'm like, well, you know, that's not necessarily bad. So I kind of like kept digging. And this guy's a fucking doctor.
What the fuck?
And he only pays $500 of anything, and she's asked to pay the rest, because he assumes that just because she works there that she should pay for more, because, you know, she's a stripper and she makes tips. And then on top of that, she proceeds to tell me, like, yeah, and if I make the salad wrong, he'll like hit me. And last week he pulled a knife on me, but I have to pay all the bills too. So I think I'm gonna break up with him. I'm like,
You think, huh?
yeah, you probably should. You know?
think?
Yeah.
Does she need bodyguards when that happens? 'Cause,
That's what I
like,
said.
Yeah.
Well, I legit told her that. I was like, so when you do that, are you going to have somebody with you? She's like, yeah, I think I'm going to have a couple of the bouncers at the okay, good.
Yeah, they could do that. They could call me and Rich.
Yeah, I was
They
like,
could-
no, I literally
They
said
can
that
have
too.
they can. You can also call the police and have them chaperone it or whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
apparently she put the wrong cheese in his salad.
Uh-huh.
Or no, onions. White onions instead of red onions. So he smacked her up.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
can lose his fucking doctor.
Yeah, that's what I said. And the doctor thing didn't come until the end of the storytelling. So I was like, what the fuck? You have to pay for everything. She's like, yeah. And the fucked up thing is she talked about it so normally, you know? She was just like, yeah.
That's how you know she just thinks it's like,
Yeah. She's like, I think it's not
God.
really that healthy. I'm like, you think?
Yeah.
I just want to.
But that's an example of like a guy trying to like mooch off of a girl. Like, you very well can take care of yourself and her,
Yeah.
but you choose not to, you know?
Sometimes, I mean, I get it because I was in this situation too, but sometimes I'm like, bitch, come on.
Yeah.
Like, get it together.
Right.
Dump his ass in the fucking ocean with the fish. God.
Tell his ass to go fishing. God damn it.
When are we going fishing?
No, right?
Wait, there was a part in the in either the clip that I was showing or the clip that you were showing that I kind of want to ask is why do you think it is that guys are not viewed as the prize in a relationship?
Ooh, yeah, that's right. That wasn't one of the
Because we
clips.
do work very hard and we we earn everything that we attain. So why is it that amongst all the things that we attain, the woman is still viewed as the trophy or the the prize in the relationship?
For me, I can't connect with that because I feel like I put my man on a pedestal.
Same. I was gonna say that first and foremost. I'm like, my man is the king, unless he fucks up and makes himself makes me feel another way. But generally speaking, my man is always on a pedestal. But if I were to take my best guess, I think because you know how you guys talk about sometimes about like how guys will kind of like date whoever they can date, shoot their shot and whatever, whereas like women can pick and choose who they want. Maybe that's why they're considered the prize, because you are the chosen one.
But there's also there's also that thing where they say girl will sleep with whoever they want, the guy will marry whoever they want. Because you guys, you control the pussy, but we control the ring.
Yeah, that's true. I think if it's a good man, then it's a prize.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on who you
And vice versa. If it's a good woman, then
Oh yeah, definitely. There's been like I've regardless of the topics that I bring up and stuff like that, I still like highly value the women and treat them like princesses or whatever.
yeah.
I do
To
my
be
best.
fair,
Yeah.
Vince talks about hitting women and kicking his daughter down the stairs, but just he's a good guy. He doesn't actually do that
It's a
stuff.
joke, yeah.
It's a
Actually,
joke,
I didn't. I've never said that I hit a woman.
You said you would, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they. Oh, I would never. Okay, wait. Okay. Let's clear this up.
Cancelled.
You can quote me on this. I will never hit a woman. I'll punch a bitch.
Okay.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
We're going to clip that.
Now we're canceled.
Oh man, that was good.
Yeah, I think you just have to, depends on who you're asking. Because I hopefully, whoever the next person I meet, whoever that person might be, it could be you.
Uh huh.
I hope at the end of the day we're both each other's prize.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we climbed up this mountain, we've traversed this gap, and we are both at the cusp of greatness.
Yeah. Let's.
Under the moonlight.
Under the moonlight. Moonlight is very important to Kuya for anybody that's his future person.
Yes,
Here, let's make it like this. Like, I don't want a relationship where I wear the pants in the relationship. I just want a relationship where we both don't wear pants.
Yeah, that part.
Someone told me, I may wear the pants in a relationship, but she gets to pick them.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like I've told people I can do whatever the fuck I want as long as she says it's okay.
That's like my pastor used to be like, I'm the head of the household, but my wife is the neck. She tells me which way to turn.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a good one too.
There you go.
Yep. Clip that.
You're right.
Damn, I've been slacking on the quotes. We gotta start a new episode.
Okay, bye.
Oh wait, was that the end? No. Oh, okay.
Well, do we have anything else to say? Any last thoughts or comments, concerns, questions in regards to, women?
Yeah, think for
Leveling up and
men,
down.
men, women. Think for your goddamn selves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I second that
Do
notion.
not let social
Be
media.
selfish.
Yeah, do not let social media dictate how you feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just because the dude earns minimum wage, but he's a good dude, and you love him. That's all it is. And
Yeah.
the same goes with guys.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're a guy, love him too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever
you're
it is.
into.
Non-binary.
Yeah.
And if you don't like them, just toss them in the ocean with the fish.
There
And man,
go.
you know what? We should start normalizing not washing your hands when you go to the bathroom.
Okay,
Yes,
no.
because we have clean fucking dicks.
Yep. We do.
We
we
mentioned
brought
dicks.
up dicks.
We brought up dicks.
Yep. We sure did.
And this time it was them, not me. That's the first.
Okay. Is that a deal breaker if a guy doesn't wash his hands after a bathroom?
Yes.
But we have
Okay,
clean-
but how many times have you sucked a dick without like washing it first?
Oh, trust me, I do.
You wash it first
I've done it. I've took a wipe and I've cleaned that.
every time.
Yes.
That's cap.
Yes.
See how quiet Ari is?
Well, I'm really lucky because my husband is extremely clean on his own. Like he'll just be like, "I'll be right back," like without me even asking. So I'm really lucky in that sense. But I have sucked a dick that was not clean. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait.
Well, I'm not saying not
Recently,
clean.
yes.
I'm just saying like it doesn't have to be washed to be clean. It's in my pants all the time.
Yeah. It definitely was
So
clean, but
why
not washed,
do we
yes.
have to wash our hands if you will put it in your
your
mouth
hand-
without it being washed?
Your hand touches many things, not just
Your dick.
your dick. It
So then we
touches the
should wash our hands
handle.
before we go to the bathroom.
And after, because you touch the handle coming back out, you touch the door handle, you touch.
The door of Pacers is always open.
I don't know that. So,
Okay.
in the girls' bathroom, there's a door. So,
Yeah, no.
And I push it with my elbows.
what about when you unlock? See, because you guys don't know about the lock thingy. Like, we have to unlock it with our finger. You guys just stand over a fucking stall.
So another reason why we shouldn't have
you
to.
don't- you
We're
don't flush
conserving
it?
water.
Do you
don't
flush?
flush?
No, it has the sensor.
Yeah.
When we step away, it just flushes.
But not all bathrooms have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we shouldn't have to do it every time.
If not, I use my elbow.
Here we go. Okay.
But for the record, I do wash my hands every time.
Yes, I do too. Sometimes.
You're
Yeah.
disgusting.
Gross.
Sometimes I even sit when I pee because I listen to Drake.
You should, because then it doesn't sprinkle everywhere.
Yeah, that, and we need to start normalizing sitting or using the stalls when we pee just because it has the toilet paper there and we could wipe afterwards.
Yep. I agree with that. I teach
Yep.
my boys that. I'm like, sit down and wipe your TT.
So we need 5 more minutes about vaginas.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Vaginas are
Make
need
Glass
to be
flower.
cleaned. Clean your vaginas.
The inside,
Yes.
the outside, the lips.
And practice your.
Your Kegels.
Yes.
I'm doing it right now.
Right now. Ready? Go.
Yeah.
Simultaneously. Yes.
Here we fucking go, man.
Can guys do that when they're not hard? You know how like when you're hard, you can like
Yes.
Can you do that
Yeah.
when you're
Right
not?
now. Doing it right now. Practice.
Okay, so we're all doing it right now.
Okay, ready?
That's your 1, 2, 3. Why did everyone get so quiet?
Why is Vince going like this? Like he's doing a beat to it.
Staying alive. Staying alive. if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, you got to wait till the actual video comes out on YouTube to figure out to see all our
It's just
facial
gonna zoom
expressions.
in on each
Yeah.
face when we're doing it.
Listen, don't pressure me with an editing.
No,
okay?
no, I'm
God
not.
damn
I'm
it.
just kidding. Watch him actually do that, though. And I'm like, no, take my face down.
Yeah, then,
Okay, so I think
like what Ari told me at Wild and Out.
What did she tell you a while and out?
She told me no man, now I won't talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Off camera, I was gonna tell you a story. I actually told Lonnie it earlier, but I accidentally turned on one of my clients. I gotta tell you.
Turned on?
Bye.
Bye. See you
Yeah,
guys
we're
on
gonna
the
talk
next
about this.
episode.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Bye. He actually said bye.